Hey guys, this is Tock Custom. I've been wanting to do a video tutorial series for a while on how to make your own Twitch creative channel. I don't think there's anything like that right now on YouTube, so I wanted to take the time to show you guys how I got set up on Twitch Creative. And the first thing we're going to do is making our own overlay to use in OBS, which we'll talk about later. But to start, I use a program called Paint.net here to design my overlays and do some other graphics. If you go to getpaint.net, you can download it here. It's free, it's easy, it's great to use, and it works really well for making overlays. So when you get paint.net, you're going to be here. The first thing I'm going to do is make a new page, and we're going to do a page that's 1920 by 1080. That'll give us a nice blank screen, and the reason we do 1920 by 1080 is because this is what our output video ratio is going to be on our OBS channel, or on our Twitch channel. So that's the first step, is to get a page that's 1920 by 1080. The next thing that I do is I grab just an image I want to use as my background. So I just downloaded this, and we're going to use this as our background for our overlay. And if you do Control A and Control C, it's going to select everything. And then I'm going to paste this here on the bottom layer. And this one here on the top left is going to be what our main overlay is going to be. The next thing we want to do is think about where we want our main camera. So I'm going to make, this is another box that's 1920 by 1080. I'm going to make it a big box of red, and then I'm going to select all of it and copy it. And then we're going to make a new layer with our layer tool. And this is going to be on top of our background. So you want your space background or whatever your background to be on the bottom at all times. So layer 2 here, I'm going to do my first camera slot. And if you hold shift when you change the size, it's going to keep the same ratio. So this is going to be the same ratio as our widescreen webcam. So let's say I want my main camera to be about here. Make sure you hold shift, and it's going to lock that ratio in place. So that looks good about right there. And say you have two other cameras that you want to use. I'm going to make another layer. I'm going to go back to this, copy another image of that, and then we're going to do kind of the same thing, except this one's going to be smaller on the side. So say I want a camera like there, copy that and paste it here. And then if you hold, or if you just press down or hold Control and down, it'll move it. There we go. So now I've got three cameras. Let's say I move this down. Okay, the next thing is I want some like graphics and stuff like that on my main overlay. So on my channel I have like a Tock Custom logo here, and I've got some text and stuff like that, and like a donation bar. Then up in the corner I've got a little slideshow, and then down here I've got my on-screen events. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, I'm going to cover all that stuff in these tutorials. But let's start playing with some graphics. So say I want to put one of my logos in here. I'm going to open one of my logos, and I'm going to show you guys how to like make a silhouette and do some stuff like that. So if I use this tool, this is called the magic wand. If I select this white area, it's going to select all of that white area right there. And if I delete it, it's going to make the background transparent, which is exactly what we want. So you can also do Control I, and it will invert the selection. So now it's selecting only the logo. And I want to fill that so it's just solid black right now. So I'm going to do this shape key. We're going to do a fill right here. And then I just want it to be solid black. So I'm going to select black in my colors, and then just draw a big box. And it's only going to do it where that selected area is. Okay. So now I got a big black Tock Custom logo. You can do this with any kind of image if you just want a silhouette or something like that. But then I want to do something to make this a little bit more fancy. So we're going to select just the logo again, and I'm going to use the gradient tool. And I'm going to do like a red and a gray. And if I drag this from the top corner to the bottom right corner, it's going to do kind of a gray and red blend. And then I just hit enter and it saves it. Okay, so now I want to select my logo again, and I'm going to hit Control C to copy it. Then we're going to bring it back over here, and we're going to make a new layer, and I'm going to paste it. And then I'm just going to shrink it. I'm going to hold shift so it keeps the same ratio. And now I've got a nice little gray and black Tock custom logo that I can put in the top corner. And that looks fine. And now I want to do some work with some text. So I'm going to make a new layer. I do a new layer for every single different element on my overlay. So the next thing I want to do is use the text tool. And I'm just going to click right next to my logo here and make it a little bit bigger font-wise. And the logo I usually use for my website and stuff like that is Copperplate Gothic. So I'm just going to put Tock Custom. Whoops, there we go. Tock Custom, perfect. And then this is its own layer, so I can kind of move this around as I need to. Whoops. There we go. I might want it to be a little bit bigger, so I can just kind of select it and make it a little bit bigger. Something like that should be fine. Now, as you can see, the background kind of blends in with the text, and I don't want that. So there's a few different things you can do. You can kind of change the color of the background so it's a little bit more high contrast. Or you can download plugins for paint.net, and these are free. So I got one called Outline Object. And this is called Outline Object by PyroChild. If you look this up, Outline Object by PyroChild, you'll find a free download where you can download it. It installs for you, and it works great. And then you can just... Anyway, to start over, once you have that, if you go to Effects, Object, Outline Object, it's going to let you do an outline around any object that's on your overlay. So I'm just going to do like a nice thin, soft white border around my text just to make it show up a little bit better. And I want to soften it up so it kind of glows a little bit. It's got a cool glow effect. There we go. That looks fine. So now I've got a nice little glowing Tock custom logo. And actually, I'm going to do that same thing with this little Tock custom logo in the corner, where I'm going to do another outline object and hit OK. And that's just going to make it a little softer on the edges. So now I've got my logo and some text here. Okay, the next thing I want is something that shows like my recent donators. I like to, when people donate to the channel, I like to give them a chance to have their name show up on the screen and stuff like that. So I'm going to put a little graphic here to where their names will show up and scroll across the screen, because I think that looks cool. So let's get ready to do that. Okay, so let's do a little donators scroll box here. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a new layer, and we're going to do a text box, and I'm going to make this say recent donators. We're going to do this in white, and then I want this to have kind of a dark background so it shows up. So I'm going to do the outline object again, do like a black color. That looks good. And then I will just kind of scoot this in here. Okay, that looks good. And then, actually, I'm going to put this like up here. Good. Okay, now I'm going to make a new layer, and we're going to do kind of a big long rectangle box where the names are going to show up. So I'm going to do my shapes tool here, and then we're going to do What is it? It's going to do a fill with outline. Okay, let's try this. So I want my colors to be black, and I want my secondary color to be kind of, let's see, dark, but mostly opaque. So if you see where it says opacity alpha here, we want this to be really transparent. So one color is going to be white, and the other color is going to be like mostly transparent black. And when I draw a line here, what it's going to do is it's going to do a big white rectangle, and it's going to do a semi-transparent, so I can still see through here, but it's going to make it darker. Does that make sense? So I'll have that run all the way to the edge, and that looks pretty good like that. And the names for my donators are going to show up right in this box here, and I think that'll look pretty good. You can make this more opaque, or you can make it a solid black color, solid white, whatever you want to do, but I think that looks good. It's kind of a semi-transparent thing. Okay, the next thing I want to do is, let's say I want like a little slideshow right here that shows off some pictures or some previous projects that I've done or something like that. That's a good idea. So I'm going to do a new box, and I'm going to make this a perfect square, and I'll tell you why in one of my next videos. But we're going to start with that. So I'm going to do another box, and it's just going to be red like this one is. Where'd my colors go? There we go. So I'm going to go back to my little box here, and I'm going to make it a solid red. We're going to select all and copy it. I'm going to bring it back here and do a new layer. We're going to paste it. So I want this to fill in this space here. Remember, hold shift when you're changing the size so it stays the same ratio. So something like that should be pretty good. And you can use the arrow keys to move around your shapes pixel by pixel. So if you want to get it absolutely perfect, you can do it that way. Okay, that looks good there. And this is pretty good. So this might be everything I need for just a new simple overlay. This area down here, you can put, on-screen chat or alerts, or if you want to make like a scrolling announcement bar, something like that. That's what this area down here I use for. Or if you have like a stream team you're part of and you want to show that off, you can put that here. Any other logos or sponsorships, just like we did this logo and these texts up here, you can use the same principles like this to paste it here. So anyway, this should be good for right now. I don't want to make this video too long. So if I go to layers, or I'm sorry, if I go to image, I want to flatten this image. So what it's going to do, it's going to take all the layers and put them onto one single layer. So now all my layers are gone, and this is just one image, okay? So what I want to do now is take my magic wand, and I'm gonna select all these red boxes. So if you hold Control, and you keep clicking them, it's going to select all those big red boxes. Now when I hit delete, it's going to make those areas transparent. And the reason we want to do that is so when you put your overlay in OBS or XSplit or Game Show, you're going to have your overlay there, and then you're going to want to put your cameras behind or below that layer so that you get this perfect clean edge cropped out with the exact ratio of your camera here. This is going to be our slideshow, and then these are going to be our secondary cameras over here. That's it. So now all we have to do is go to File, Save, or Save As. I'll just save it to my desktop. You're going to want to save it as a PNG, because a PNG can hold transparency. We're just going to call this overlay tutorial. Now look at all these pictures here of graphics from my stream. So I'm going to save it just like that, and you're going to hit OK. Now when I go to open it, it's going to look like this. So these black areas here are going to be transparent, and when I drop it into OBS, I can put cameras there. Now that's going to be the end of this tutorial. Making your own overlay is as simple as that. For this background, you can use your own picture, you can make your own digital art, you can get as creative with it as you want, but it's that simple. So I've got my overlay. My next video is going to be how to set up your overlay in your cameras in OBS, and then we're going to talk about on-screen alerts, moving graphics, GIFs, GIFbot, and some other stuff like that. But this is where you want to start. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or you can get a hold of me through my website on tockcustom.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Facebook, whatever. Just search Tock Custom and you should find it. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, you guys. I hope this helps, and I will see you guys in the next video.